Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for being here. You are at Stanislaus County LAFCO. Today is Wednesday, August 26th. It's about 6 p.m. If everybody could please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Let's move on to introduction of commissioners, and we will start down here. Amy.
Amy Bublak, city member.
Bill O'Brien, public member.
Suze Wallen,
City member. Terry Withrow, county member.
Vito Chiesa, county member.
Janie Yeagers, alternate public member.
Charlie Gokin, alternate city member.
Javier Camarena, assistant executive officer.
Sarah Lettle-Penny, executive officer.
Rob Terrell, LAFCO counsel, and I've brought with me Mr. Mobeen Body, future LAFCO counsel.
Okay.
Jennifer Vieira, commission clerk.
Very good. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to move on to the public comment portion of the meeting. And this is the time for anyone to come up and speak about anything besides one of the items on the agenda. You'll get a chance to speak about those as we get to those. But this is anything that's not on the agenda. You have approximately 5 minutes, 3 minutes. You have 35 minutes, actually, we're going to give you tonight. No, we're just going to stick with 3 minutes unless you need more. Okay, I have a couple public comment cards, and it looks like that none of them are for specific items. So we'll start with Milt Treeweiler. Milt, good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Chair, Commissioners, and staff. Milt Treeweiler. Are you paying attention to and truly understand what's happening in the world today? We need to stop destroying America. Is Earth's average temperature rising? Yes. Almost every region on the Earth, including land and ocean areas, has a higher average temperature today than it did in 1955. Average global surface temperatures have risen from 57.4 degrees Fahrenheit in 1955 to 59.4 degrees in 2025. These averages are determined by averaging the temperatures from 23,000 weather stations around the Earth. This 2-degree Fahrenheit rise is worldwide is very disturbing. One other disturbing news item is the national debt is now $40 billion. Just 14 years ago, it was $14 trillion. If I said billion, I meant trillion. $40 trillion, and now it's $40 trillion dollars. We have much to be concerned about. Stanislaus County is the nut tree and fruit tree basket of America. The areas north of Turlock, north and west of Modesto, south and east of Ceres, east of Riverbank, all around Houston, must be preserved for agriculture. These areas have prime farm soils and the water and climate to grow nut trees and fruit trees for hundreds of years. Our grandchildren and descendants and the people of America will depend on this food for nourishment. As a Stanislaus County LAFCO, you must set up permanent boundaries around our Stanislaus County cities as agricultural preserves. There is some good news. Just a little over an hour's drive from Modesto, you'll find over 200,000 acres of land ready to build on. This land is just to the west of Rio Vista and east of Fairfield, on both sides of the highway. It's very poor farmland, but great for building on. The building industry will tell you there's plenty of farmland to grow food on. This is false. Recently, many farmers in the Central Valley have taken their farmland out of production because of a lack of water. The building industry has not researched how little prime farmland is still left on the earth. Plus, around the world, rivers are drying up. In the U.S., there's the Colorado River, the Mississippi River, and the Rio Grande River. In Mexico, there's the Rio Grande River. In South America, there's the Amazon, the Purus, the Paraguay River. In Europe, there's the Rhine River in Germany, Danube, and the Poo. In France, there's the Loire and the Seine. In Australia, there's the Lower Murphy River. All I'm asking you to do is please stop destroying America. And please start making good decisions for our grandchildren and our descendants. Thank you.
Thanks, Milt. That was good pronunciation on a lot of those rivers too, Milt. That was kind of hard. Okay, next up, Catherine Borges. Catherine, how are you?
Doing okay, thanks. Chair Withrow, Commissioners, and Executive Officer Lytle Planning. I'm Catherine Borges, a Salida resident and former Stanislaus County Planning Commissioner. I am here to thank the Commission and staff for 2 items in tonight's correspondence, the July 24th response to the Scannell draft EIR and the July 27th response to the Notice of Preparation for Modesto's 2050 General Plan EIR. These letters matter to the communities in which I live and near which I reside, and I want to place 3 of staff's findings on the record tonight. First, the vacant land table. The city told the public that approximately 1,840 vacant acres remain. LAFCO's staff's GIS analysis identifies more than 6,550 vacant acres within the city's existing boundaries, more than 5,500 acres within the Spear, and more than 1,050 acres inside the city limits. LAFCO policy states that Spear amendments will not be approved when sufficient alternative land is available. Staff has now provided that analysis, and I ask the Commission to remember this table when an application comes before it. Second, communities of interest. Staff's letter identifies Salida and Wood Colony as communities of interest and describes what the preferred alternative would do to Wood Colony. It would leave Wood Colony as a pocket area surrounded on 3 sides by urban development, creating an illogical pattern of growth that would threaten its long-term agricultural viability. In 1996, this commission rejected a major northward expansion of Modesto's sphere of influence involving Salida and agricultural land north and west of the city. Staff's present letter confirms that Wood Colony and Salida remain distinct communities of interest requiring protection. Third, mitigation. Staff's letter records that the city has collected agricultural in lieu fees since 2013, but has no program or policy directing how those funds will be used or how agricultural preservation will ultimately be accomplished. Fees without an established preservation program preserve nothing. I filed scoping comments on the 2050 Notice of Preparation on July 17th, raising these issues and others. I want the Commission to know that these communities are engaged, organized, and aligned with the policies and standards this Commission has adopted. Salida intends in due course to petition this Commission for the formation of a community services district. We will follow the established process, and we ask only that every applicant be held to the same policies and standards. Thank you, and thank you, Mrs. Lytle-Piney and staff for these 2 thorough and professional letters.
Thanks, Catherine. Okay, those are the only 2 cards that we have. Lori? Lori, good evening. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Lori Wolf, Secretary for the Wood Colony MAC. As we have worked through this process of trying to figure out how to protect Wood Colony, our community has realized that it's more than just Wood Colony. It's Wood Colony, it's prime farmland in Riverbank, it is prime farmland and continuing Salida's mission. We're not just vacant land. I know you've heard this. We have a community. We have generational family farms. We're going to do everything we can to the best of our ability to protect that farmland and protect our community and not replace our community or their community or the other community with people who want to come in and pave it over and create a new community and toss ours out. We wish you the best on going through your process serving here and all that, and just, go farmland and communities.
Okay, thanks, Lori. Okay, anybody else? Jake, come on up. Jake, good evening. How are you?
Good, Terry. How you doing?
Good. Haven't seen you in a while.
I know you look good. All you guys look great.
So do you.
Jake Winger, Wood Colony resident, lifelong Wood Colony resident. In fact, my great grandfather established out there in 1910. I just want to thank staff for the letters. You read through those letters, and this process, obviously, with development out that direction comes up every several years, it seems like. And every year there's always different issues, but you read through that letter, and I got to say I'm impressed with LAFCO taking a look at it and pointing out a lot of the issues that we've had the entire time. And one of the things that we've argued this whole time is you have to have some common sense approach to looking at development. And of course, that's the job of LAFCO, right? And when you look in there, we've had issues the whole time with trying to work with City of Modesto and have those communications, which is difficult because we're not City of Modesto residents. But you look through that letter from LAFCO and it points out the fact that their numbers on available acreage within the City of Modesto doesn't match with LAFCO's. They seem to shrink their numbers. LAFCO disagrees. They talk about protecting Wood Colony. The letter from LAFCO says, well, you're going to build development around 3 sides of it. That doesn't really seem like you're protecting something. It seems like you're threatening it. They talk about the Mangetti property, which was put into a land trust to protect, to keep development out. And it's made a little green zone because, we're going to make this. No, that's not the intention of putting land into land easement, right? The job is to protect it and to make a border. So I do appreciate LAFCO's letter. I look forward to continued discussions on it, and hopefully we can come up with some common sense solutions. I know, this happened in the past. Last time this came up to LAFCO, it was like a 6,000 acre proposal by the City of Modesto, and I think LAFCO approved 400. And there was members of the city council that were on the community telling people, well, we know LAFCO is going to shrink it anyway, so we might as well ask for as much as we can. That's not a plan. A shotgun approach to anything isn't a plan. It's saying, let's just throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. So I appreciate the fact that LAFCO says we need to stick to the plan. And I just want to say thank you, because you read that letter and I think there's a lot of the frustrations that we raised that were expressed in that letter. So thank you, guys.
Thanks, Jake. Okay, anybody else for public comment? Very good. Seeing none, thank you who did come and speak. Okay, we'll move on to correspondence. No specific correspondence, just informational.
There is one letter for specific correspondence related to item 6A, and that's the letter dated August 20th, 2026 from the Ceres City Manager.
Okay, very good. All right, and we will move on to declaration of conflicts and disqualifications. Anybody have any conflicts or disqualifications? Seeing none, very good. Okay, we'll move on to our consent calendar. Hopefully everyone's had a chance to look at that. And if anybody would like to pull either of the items off the consent calendar for further comment or discussion. Nobody on the dais, anybody in the audience? All in favor? Aye. Oppose? Passes unanimously. Very good. We'll move on to our public hearing, item 6A, continued from the June 24th meeting.
Good evening, Javier Camarena with LAFCO. The item being discussed this evening is LAFCO application number 2026-04 and sphere of influence modification number 2026-05, Ceres Fire Protection District reorganization to Stanislaus Consolidated Fire Protection District. The item was continued to tonight's meeting from June 24th. The proposal is a request to annex the Ceres Fire Protection District territory into Stanislaus Consolidated Fire District and simultaneously dissolve the Ceres Fire Protection District. The proposed area is generally located south of the city of Ceres between the Union Pacific Railroad and Faith Home Road. There's an additional area located along the northeast border of the city of Ceres along the river there. The area contains 512 parcels and approximately 2,500 acres. The reorganization would annex the Ceres Fire Protection District into the Stanislaus Consolidated Fire District boundary. It would amend the Stanislaus Consolidated Sphere of Influence, dissolve the Ceres Fire Protection District, and Stanislaus Consolidated would become the successor. On June 24th, the Commission held a public hearing regarding the proposed reorganization. During the public hearing, the commission identified concerns regarding potential financial impacts to the city of Ceres, as the city of Ceres is a responding agency via mutual aid to the former Ceres Fire Protection District area. Ultimately, the commission voted to give the notice, ultimately the commission voted to give notice to the involved agencies that the commission was considering a change to include an agreement with the city of Ceres for direct services. The item was continued to tonight's date. LAFCO provided notice to Stanislaus Consolidated, Ceres Fire Protection District, and the city of Ceres regarding the commission's decision. Since the previous meeting, both Stanislaus Consolidated and City of Ceres have discussed the matter at their respective board meetings. Both Stanislaus Consolidated and City of Ceres have approved resolutions declaring the intent to negotiate and enter into a revenue sharing agreement in connection with the proposed reorganization. An agreement has not been finalized. However, both agencies are continuing efforts to finalize an agreement. The City of Ceres has provided a letter in support of the reorganization. That was the letter Sarah mentioned in the correspondence. Government Code Section 56853 states that if two local agencies adopt a substantially similar resolution for a reorganization, the Commission shall approve or conditionally approve the proposal. The section also allows the Commission to order a material change in the provisions or the terms and conditions of that reorganization so long as the involved agencies are notified. In this case, both the Ceres Fire Protection District and Stanislaus Consolidated approved a substantially similar resolution requesting the organization, and LAFCO staff notified the agencies of a potential material change regarding an agreement with the City of Ceres. If approved by the Commission, the proposed reorganization will be subject to a 30-day reconsideration period as well as protest hearing. Staff's recommendation can be found on page 3 of your memo, which includes approval of the proposed reorganization as outlined in Resolution 2026-13. Approval of the resolution would certify that the project is exempt pursuant to CEQA, approve the sphere of influence, and approve the annexation, and direct the executive officer to initiate the protest proceedings. Originally, the Commission provided a 60-day continuance for Stanislaus Consolidated and City of Ceres to complete an agreement. Both agencies have made efforts towards completing the agreement, adopting resolutions of their intent, and the City of Ceres has provided a letter of support. However, if the Commission wishes to condition its approval upon a final agreement, staff has prepared the following material change language to Resolution 2026-13. So that language would be: prior to recording the certificate of completion, a copy of a revenue sharing agreement between the Stanislaus Consolidated Fire Protection District and City of Ceres shall be provided to the LAFCO Executive Officer. That concludes my presentation, and staff is available for questions.
Very good. Thanks, Javier. Okay, questions for staff? Okay, seeing none. Okay, we're going to open up the public hearing then. And whoever would like to come up and... Milt, you're first up.
I think that last recommendation is a recommendation you want to adhere to. We've got to be safe. We know what happened in Stancog. We know that corrupt things can happen here in Stanislaus County. We've got to cover ourselves. That's what it's all about, cover ourselves. Because unfortunately, not all people in the world are honest, trustworthy, and ethical. So I think you should just let it be approved. I mean, conditionally approved until it's finally approved before it's recorded. Thank you.
Thanks, Milt. Okay. Who else? Come on up. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Chair. I'm great, thank you. Chair and members of the Commission, my name is Steve Williams, and I am the interim city manager for the City of Ceres. The City of Ceres does support the proposed reorganization of the Ceres Fire Protection District into the Stanislaus Consolidated Fire Protection District. As was mentioned in the staff report on August 19th, the Stanislaus Consolidated Board adopted a resolution expressing its intent to negotiate a revenue sharing agreement with the city. Last Monday, on August 24th, the Ceres City Council unanimously adopted a substantially similar resolution. Together, these resolutions confirm that both agencies intend to negotiate in good faith toward an agreement that would continue funding the city at a generally equivalent level to what the city currently receives for providing fire protection services within the affected area. While these resolutions are non-binding, and the terms of any future agreement are subject to negotiation and will require separate approval by both governing boards, with these mutual commitments in place and the material change language, the City of Ceres supports this proposed resolution. Thank you.
Perfect. So you're good with the material change language, Steve, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Very good. Any questions, Steve? Hold
Can I
on.
ask you, have you
Yes.
already had negotiations with Consolidated?
We have I met initially with the Modesto Fire Administration. I had a subsequent meeting after that initial meeting with Modesto Fire Administration. Had a subsequent meeting again with representatives of Modesto Fire Administration, and I believe it was a subcommittee of the Consolidated Board. The talks went very well, and I'm confident that we're going to come to a mutually acceptable agreement.
Okay.
Very good.
I want to hear from Chief Bray the same.
Okay,
if
Thanks,
that's okay.
Steve.
I'm sorry.
that's good.
That's all right. Good evening, Commissioners
Chief.
and Chair. Clint Bray, Modesto Fire, representing Stanislaus Consolidated. Like City Manager Williams said, we've had multiple meetings on this issue, and we are close to an agreement. It's in draft with our legal, and as soon as I receive the draft, hopefully next week, we will then be sending that over for the City of Ceres to review and continue to work on negotiations of the language of the agreement.
You have a board, right? And so there's that complicates things a little more. It's not Modesto, right? It's
Correct.
going to be, it's your board. Your board is fully aware of the situation and the negotiations. And
Right,
you,
so when we met with the City of Ceres, we brought in the ad hoc that worked on the Ceres Fire Protection District so that it was fully transparent and they were aware of what was going on. And they were briefed at a special board meeting we had to adopt similar resolutions as the City of Ceres, and then they've been briefed fully on this item.
okay.
So it sounds like you're good with the material change language too.
Correct.
Very good. Thank you. Thanks, Clint. Any other questions before we send them down? Down. Okay. Anybody else? Okay, seeing none, we will close the public hearing and bring it back to the board for discussion and a motion.
I just wanted to say, my initial reaction when they sent out the packet, and I know I called the attorney, I've talked to Sarah, my initial reaction was get an agreement done and then bring it back to us. And so basically punting it or staying it. Hearing this gives me much greater hope because I didn't know that you were going to be able to do this in short order or that you agreed generally that you're on the cusp of an agreement. So I'm definitely more likely to support the language with the alternative that in 30 days it comes back to us, that we still have the opportunity, we pass it as is with the material changes. So it just makes me feel better because I hadn't talked to anyone, and when it comes down to money, there's always disagreement. That's just inherent on the tax sharing. So hearing from Steve and Clint makes me feel a lot better about this.
Okay, thanks, Vito. William?
Yes, Mr. Chair. I'm going to start my comments tonight the same way I did the last meeting, that further consolidation within fire service in Stanislaus County is absolutely needed. And I will always have that viewpoint. I'm happy to where this has gone. And that was one of my biggest questions last meeting is how can two agencies bring in a third party, financially harm them, but not let them have a seat at the table? Well, now that seat at the table is here. Ceres is part of the deal. And if we go with the material change, I'm most likely to support it. That being said, I do have two issues that I will put on the record. One I brought up last time, and that has to do with the capital improvement fees that will be collected by Consolidated in Series Fire Protection old boundaries. Series Fire is the one providing the service, but the capital improvement fees will go to Consolidated. I think there's a legal nexus issue there, not for LAFCO to decide. Could end up in one of your guys' laps further down the road. I won't let that get in my way tonight. The second issue is someone brought to my attention about a month ago, and won't let that stand in my way either, but as Consolidated has their standards that they will now put into this area, which is completely rural, some of those standards are going to be hard for the public to stomach. And the specific one that's been brought to the attention is the now requirement, or supposedly the requirement, of either concrete or asphalt driveways. Well, as farmers know, those driveways could be a quarter mile, half mile, and that could be a substantial cost to someone who is making an improvement to their property. Now, as I weigh that, does having a fire district now provided by Ceres outweigh that? Probably does, because now you're going to have a financially sound level of service. So it probably outweighs that. But I just want that on the record, because I'm not going to drop in LAFCO's lap, but it's going to drop in someone else's lap. So, like I said, I don't think it's going to stand my way tonight. I'm thankful that everybody worked on that to get Ceres to the table and get them protected.
Very good. Thanks, Bill. Amy?
Just a point of clarification. I believe that we heard that if the decision was made later, that it would just go to the CEO, not back to us as a board. Did I misunderstand that?
The condition of approval would be that the revenue sharing agreement, once finalized, would be provided to the executive officer as evidence that it's final prior to the certificate of completion being recorded.
So we would not go to the...
Right.
Understood.
It would go to a protest hearing, but that's also separate.
Okay.
Thanks for the clarification.
Okay, thanks, Amy. Anybody else? Any comments? Okay, I missed all the fireworks last meeting. So this is easy at this point. So, yeah, I will support this based on the change language here, and you guys will work this out, and we're good to go. So we will look for a motion.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
To clarify the motion is
Which option?
Oh, my bad.
staff recommendation with the material
With the
change.
material
Is that
change.
As presented? Okay. Does that work?
Was that the
Rob?
motion, Amy?
Material
that work?
change option.
Yes.
Material change option is my motion.
And I'll second it.
Correct.
Thank you.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes unanimously. That was easy. Thank you, guys.
We just wanted you to be here.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. Okay. We will move on to other business. We have no other business. Commissioner comments? No comments. Additional matters at the discretion of the chairperson, none. Executive officers report. Sarah?
Yes, we are recommending cancellation of the September 23rd meeting. We'll be working on scheduling a protest hearing for the item that you just heard. And then our next commission meeting will be October 28th. That's all I have.
Okay. So no September 23rd meeting. Next one, October 28th. No further business. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.